hi everyone. We'll get started shortly. Welcome, welcome. All right, my name is Matty if we haven't met yet. And as you get settled, feel free, hello Bella. Any yoga props that you might need, grab those blocks, books, blankets, and we'll get started shortly. For this class, if you'd like music, so there is a playlist that I made. If you go to my Spotify, you can just search my name, it's right there. It's called CPF Playlist 50, I believe. But if not, use whatever music you'd like or no music at all. And then also, if you're going to view this on replay, you can pull up the playlist then as well. Cool? So we'll get started shortly. All right, so we'll give it about 3 more minutes since we have a bit of time. But my name is Matty again, and I am a yoga instructor with Chelsea Piers Fitness. Today will be a 15-minute vinyasa flow. If you are newer to practicing with me, take this at your pace. And any sorts of yoga props, anything that makes you feel supported, feel free to find that, okay? So really taking care of yourself for our practice today. So happy to be here with all of ya. I can see you all sort of coming on in. Lots of waves. Hello, hello. Really happy to see you all. Just gonna take a little quick peek at some of the people joining. Really happy to have you, everyone. Hi. All right, well, I hope you are all having a good start to your Wednesday, and happy that you're joining with us. Hey Liz, nice to see ya. Okay, and so as we get started here, make yourselves comfortable. As I mentioned a bit earlier, if you're logging on in now, feel free to use whatever sort of music you want to use. There is a playlist specific for this class. If you wanted to cue that up, it's it's a little bit of searching, but if you go to my Spotify, CPF playlist 50, and you'll see it there. But other than that, if you prefer no music, any music, or even later if you're watching this, right, on our YouTube, you can pull up some music there as well. Okay, so it's been a while. I'm really happy to be here with all of you. I'm happy to flow it out. So we'll just give it about 1 more minute or so. Hey Meredith. It's kind of cool. I have like all of these, I have the phone obviously, and then also things are hooked up to the TV, so I can kind of see what's going on as well. It's getting all like for me, really tech fancy. I'm sure it's very not as fancy as some other people can get into, but all right. So it is just about noon, so we'll go ahead and get started. As you're tuning on in, right, take your time to settle in if you're just hopping on. So my name is Matty, and welcome. Happy to have you here joining me for a 15-minute vinyasa flow. And so as we get started, any sorts of props that you might need, books, blankets, towels, you might even want maybe a yoga strap or a belt today, as we'll start to get into some binds, or an option to get into some binds later. So feel free to find that. But I did want to start here sort of just talking a little bit about my intentions for the class today, and looking at perhaps intentions, maybe what brings you on for today's practice. And so as we know, right, there's lots of things going on in the world, right? We're facing a pandemic of COVID, and we're also facing a pandemic of racism, and really looking at ways to sort of survive in some ways. And so, you know, if this is a bit of a way for you to find maybe some rest, to recharge, to refuel, and this particularly goes to, you know, to folks of, you know, the Black, Indigenous, people of color communities. Happy to have you here, and really for everyone to take this opportunity to breathe, right? To have this sort of ability to come back to center, and so that you can recharge, so that you can mobilize and continue to create your efforts for change, right? With that, I've been sort of exploring within mindfulness practices. I've been diving into a lot more trainings into it. And, you know, for today, really keeping it simple, but this idea of mindful awareness. And so within today's practice, there might be perhaps a facet that you bring your awareness to. And oftentimes in yoga, that's the breath. Right? And if that feels like it could be helpful, definitely stick with that. But even for some of us, right, that could be challenging or maybe not beneficial in this moment. And so maybe it's perhaps the shapes and forms, right, the sensations that you feel in your body, or maybe even just aspects within the space that you're practicing in, right? You could focus in on the mat. You know, if you have a window, if you're outside, let your awareness be present by bringing in those sorts of anchors. Okay? So with that, let's go ahead and get started. You can make your way to all fours, tabletop, hands and knees. And then we'll just start first here into some easy rounds of cows and cats. So as you inhale, you'll drop the belly, and then exhale to round through your spine, right? If you have the playlist, and again, no worries, any sort of music that you want, you could go ahead and cue that up here as well. But let that be at your pace, okay? I'm just gonna turn on my little music player. Right, so as you find these initial movements of cows and cats, start to let it be a bit more organic. So that might mean some hip circles get involved. You might explore here, moving side to side, maybe a bit into the wrists, right? Fingertips towards the sides of your mat or towards your knees. But an exploratory moment, so connecting here with how your body feels, maybe noticing how, what sensations might come up, and even perhaps how the breath is. Then after a couple of more breath cycles, take your time, no rush. We'll make our way to a child's pose. So knees can draw wide, and then seat towards your heels. As you tap into this child's pose, it's up to you. You can let it be nice and active. Press the ground away. Maybe it's a bit more passive, just allowing the body to melt towards the floor or the ground below you. An invitation, taking a big breath in through the nose. And feel free to sigh it out through your mouth. We might do that a couple more times, breathing in and breathing out. And one more, inhale and exhale. And from here, everyone, you can press your hands down. We'll come back to a tabletop position, and then getting right into it, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for your downward facing dog. Take your time in this first down dog, right? This upside down V shape. You can pedal out through your feet a bit, nod your head no and yes, making here all of the unique movements that feel useful to you. Just working maybe through sensations that you feel through your body, maybe through the backs of your legs. And eventually from your downward facing dog, start to shift your way forward into a plank position. So a moment to feel your strength, firing up through the core, and then child's pose, knees to the ground, seat towards your heels. And peeking your eyes forward, we'll dive this now into a baby cobra. So sliding forward here, press the tops of the feet down into the ground, and through the strength of the feet, create a little lift through your chest, elbows drawing straight back. And you'll start to lower your head down through soft knees, hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Again, you can keep movements here, continue to pedal it out. Doesn't have to look any particular way, but really finding what feels most unique for you. And we'll eventually come back to a downward facing dog. From here, it's plank pose. Shift your way forward and then bring your knees down for a tabletop position. On your inhale, drop the belly, everyone. Open up the chest for a cow pose. And then as you exhale, press your hands into the ground, round through your spine for a cat pose. And we'll come back to a neutral position with the spine. This time, take your left arm, lift it up towards the sky, big open twist, and exhale to thread the needle. Left arm behind your right wrist and shoulder cheek to the ground. Now, a couple of options. You can keep your right hand where it is, or perhaps you start to take your right arm, reach it up and over if you feel ready for it, maybe an early half bind, right arm behind your back. Breathing in and breathing out. Now you'll start to release here your right hand back down towards the face. Lift your left arm up towards the sky. Big breath in. And then we'll come back to all fours with your breath out. Now nice and easy, step your right leg back, everyone. And start to find just some easy rock and rolls forward and back. So working here a bit more sensation through your calf. And then from this position, we'll take an early supported side plank. So you can kickstand your left toes towards the back of your mat. Right heel spins down and peel your right arm up towards the ceiling. And even in the supported version, right, still finding the strength within, fire up through the core, and even creating that broadness through the chest. Now a little effort into balance here. Start to lift your right leg up towards the sky. Take your time, right? Maybe there's some wobbles and shakes. Look to the right side of your mat, and then you'll step your right foot wide. Now bring your right hand down. We'll draw our way into a low lunge. So a little bit wider, right foot outside of your right hand. Lengthen out through your right leg, everyone. Walk your hands to the left, parallel your feet, and you're in a wide-legged forward fold. Invitation, you might bend one knee and then the other. Sway side to side or hang out in stillness. Whatever feels most useful for you here. And perhaps if the breath is your anchor, you might notice that. Maybe it's simply noticing the sensations that come into the body. Eventually we'll draw our way to stillness. You can have a little bend in your knees, that's all good. Keep your right hand down and peel your left arm up towards the sky. We'll open up for a twist. Big breath in. And then as you breathe out, bring your left hand down. Start to crawl your way to the front of your mat for a low lunge. Right toes will turn forward. From here, it's a three-legged dog, everyone. Lift your right leg up towards the sky. And then right knee in towards nose. A moment to hold hover. Take it into a plank pose. A little shift forward, and you can bring your knees down if you want. Lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra, pressing the feet to lift your chest. And then downward facing dog will be your breath out. Take your time. In this dog, again, any movements, maybe a softening of the knees and then lifting the butt even higher. Big breath in and big breath out. Plank pose as you inhale. Start to shift your way forward once more, feeling your strength. Knees down, tabletop. Again, cow on the breath in. Drop the belly, open up through the heart, and then exhale, press into the ground, round through your spine. And we'll come back to a neutral position. And then it's your right arm, lifted up towards the sky, a big open twist. Exhale to thread the needle. Right arm behind your left wrist, shoulder cheek to the ground. And you're welcome to stay here, left hand right by the face. Perhaps if you feel, if that it's suitable, right, left arm behind the back for an early half bind. Just noticing sensations here, perhaps still drawing the left shoulder back. Breathe in and breathe out. Now you'll start to bring here the left hand back towards your face. Right arm will lift up towards the sky. We open up, big breath in. And then as you come back to all fours, take your left leg out behind you and just easy rock and rolls forward and back. Maybe noticing sensation through the calf, even a little bit into the wrist there. And in your own time, we'll turn this into a supported side plank. So you can kickstand the right toes perhaps for balance, right behind you. Back heel, left heel spins down, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Again, feel the strength and the integrity of this pose. And then you'll start to lift your left leg up, a little moment to challenge your balance. Take the gaze to look towards the left side of your mat, and you'll start to step your left foot wide. Left hand anchors down, and then lift your back knee, coming into a slightly wider low lunge. From here, lengthen out through your left leg, crawl your hands to the right, parallel your toes, you're in a wide-legged fold. You can sway side to side again. You might hang out in stillness, feel free to bounce, let it be you. And eventually you'll draw away to stillness. There could still be a bend through your knees. Keep your left hand down, peel your right arm up. We open up for a twist, big breath in. Then as you breathe out, lower your right hand down. Front of the mat is a low lunge. Take your time to crawl your way there. Three-legged dog, left leg to the sky. From this three legs, bring your knee into nose. It's a moment to hold hover. And then from here, plank pose right away. And lower all the way down, breath out. Now knees can always come down if you want. Inhale is a baby cobra. Press the feet into the ground, lift your heart. And you'll lower your head down. Downward facing dog will be your breath out. Now as you get into your down dog here, everyone start to pedal out through your feet. Again, noticing sensation as we start to bring movement into the body. And then take that little movement of the feet, the legs, and turn it into a walk all the way to the top of the mat. Once you get to the top, feel free to find a long spine, flat back, half lift, breathe in, and then fold with your breath out. Could sway side to side, reach for elbows, maybe even find a little bounce. And releasing your hands, bend your knees even more, and your time, no rush, rolling your way up to stand. Maybe noticing each and every vertebra beginning to stack, and then from there, a couple of shoulder rolls if you want that. All right, we'll meet in a mountain pose shape. So right at the top of the mat, strong and firm, arms by your side. You can soften the eyes if you wanted. Any unique intentions that you might set for you, you can plant those here. Breathe it in. And side away. All right, we're going to start to build a little bit more heat into the body. Pressing your feet down, reach your arms up. We'll get long and tall, big breath in, and then exhale, forward fold. Take it all the way down. Step your right leg back to a lunge as you breathe in to downward facing dog with your breath out. Plank pose with your next inhale, so shifting the heart forward. And you can make a choice here if you want chaturanga, go for it, or lower all the way down. Inhale can take you to baby cobra or upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog with your breath out. Take your right leg to lift as you breathe in, 3 legs. It's knee to nose, and this time step your right foot forward. As you look forward, left foot to meet the right, long spine, flat back, inhale, and fold with your exhale. Now press into your feet, stand tall, arms to the sky, big breath in, and exhale, we forward fold. Left leg to your lunge, step back, breathing in, to downward facing dog with your breath out. And take this at your pace. You can be with me or however fast or slow it is. Exhale to lower, maybe chaturanga. Inhale can take you to baby cobra or up dog, and then exhale to your downward facing dog. Left leg lifts as you breathe in. You'll step your left foot forward. Keep looking forward, right foot to meet the left, long spine, flat back, inhale, and fold with your exhale. And we'll press into the feet, arms to the sky, big breath in, and exhale, forward fold. This is round 2. Step your right leg back to a lunge, breath in, to down dog with your breath out. Plank pose as you inhale. Again, choose your way to lower. It can be chaturanga, maybe with the knees down. Inhale to open up your chest, baby cobra or up dog, and then exhale to your downward facing dog. Right leg will rise with your breath in. You'll step your right foot forward, keep looking forward, left foot to meet the right, long spine, inhale, flat back, and exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet, stand tall, Urdhva Hastasana, arms to the sky, and exhale, you'll take it all the way down. Left leg to your lunge, step back, breathing in, to downward facing dog with your breath out. Plank pose as you inhale, heart forward. Again, choose your way to lower. Might be chaturanga, doesn't have to be. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog, and then exhale to your downward facing dog. Left leg will rise with your breath in. You'll step your left foot forward. All the time you need, right foot to meet the left, long spine, flat back, inhale. Fold with your exhale. We rise up to stand tall, arms to the sky, big breath in. Last round, exhale, forward fold. Now right leg to your lunge, a little change here. You're gonna take it right away into a plank and then choose your way to lower. So through your vinyasa, could be chaturanga, up dog to down dog, and then we'll meet in down dog in a moment to anchor here. You might notice your breath. You might notice the space around you, maybe sensations through the body, or even what's coming up into the mind. Your own unique experience, cultivating that here, breathing in. Feel free to let any noise out the mouth. You might sigh out. All right, look forward in between your hands. It's your choice. You can step, you can hop, you can float your way forward to the top of the mat. Up to you. Flat back as you breathe in, inhale, and fold with your exhale. Press into your feet, stand tall. One more time, re-rise, and exhale, forward fold. Left leg will step back as you breathe in. And from here, you've got plank through your vinyasa, maybe chaturanga, up dog as you breathe in, and then down dog to your breath out. Again, within that framework, cultivate it as you, what you might need in this moment. If it's different from what I'm saying, it's all good as well, right? Moving like you. Breathe in. Sigh out through your mouth. Now look forward in between your hands. One more time, it's your choice. You can step, you can hop, you can float all the way to the top of the mat. Flat back as you breathe in, Fold with your breath out. Press into the feet to stand tall. One more time, we rise. This time, hands to your heart, arms by your side, mountain pose. You might soften through the eyes once more. Just check in, right? Noticing any shifts or changes. If things feel exactly the same, that's all good too. Breathe in. Any noise out the mouth. All right, I'll see you in chair pose. So bending through your knees, sitting nice and deep here. You'll allow the butt bones to anchor back, still keeping here the energy of the heart lifted. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now, diver's pose. Start to lift up to your tippy toes. Wing the arms by your side. It's up to you. You can have a bend through your knees like me or start to lengthen through the legs. That's up to you. But keep the heart lifted as we start to challenge the foundation of our balance. And you'll anchor the heels down, chair pose once more. Use the strength of the feet. Stand tall. Lift your heart. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, flat back to prepare. You can place your hands to the mat. It's up to you. Step, hop, float it back. Vinyasa. Take it at your pace, and I'll see you back in a downward facing dog. Again, you can anchor here, a moment to pause, notice the strength of your body, maybe notice any sensations that might be coming up, maybe notice your breath. All right, we'll start to move here into a little flow section. Whenever you're ready, take your right leg, you'll lift it up towards the sky for 3 legs. Knee to nose and step your right foot forward. And we'll start this off in a warrior 2. Back foot seals down. As you rise the chest, opening up through the arms. And establishing this first warrior 2, good bend through your right knee. Reaching the arms to opposite ends of the space that you're in. And that intention of the gaze, right, looking past your right hand. From this position, you'll take your front palm, flip it, tip it up and back. Peaceful warrior. Big breath in. And as you breathe out, supported side angle. So right forearm to your thigh, left arm over your face. And as we find this support here of the arm pressing into the thigh, perhaps we can create that sort of action of just noticing when we press both of those parts together, we can start to open up the hip and maybe even create a little bit more revolve through the chest. Breathe in and breathe out. Now start to lengthen your front leg triangle pose. You might have to narrow off the distance of your legs a little bit, but as the legs become a bit more lengthened, thigh bones plug into the hips, still create that revolve and using the wholeness of the shape, right? The strength of the legs supporting the upper body and still working to revolve the space of the chest there open. Breathe in and breathe out. Now use the strength of your core. It's warrior 2. Rebend your right knee, opening up through the arms. Peaceful warrior. Breathing in, up and back. As you exhale, travel your hands down. Plank pose. Now this is up to you. A vinyasa flow if you want it. So it could be chaturanga, up dog to down dog. That flow could also be straight back to a downward facing dog. And you'll take a moment to anchor, notice. And we'll take it to the left side. Whenever you're ready, left leg lifts as you breathe in. Knee to nose, step your left foot forward. As you establish this lunge, then it's your warrior 2. Back foot seals, lift your chest as you open up through the arms. Again, good bend through the left knee, broadness through your collarbones. Finding the strength through the legs, and then as we create this warrior 2, take your front palm, flip it. We lean up and back for a peaceful warrior. Big breath in. As you breathe out, it's a supported side angle for this round. Forearm to your thigh, right arm up and over the face. And again, maybe noticing the connection here of how the body works as a whole, right? Perhaps the thigh into the arm into the thigh, create a little bit of openness through the hip, and perhaps even more revolve through the upper body. Breathe in and breathe out. Now you'll transform this into your triangle, lengthen out through your left leg, take your time. There might be some narrowing of the legs. Imagine here, maybe even the energy of the inner thigh still drawing in together even though the legs are apart, creating a revolve and openness through the chest. Breathe in and breathe out. Now it's a warrior 2. Take your time as you lift through the chest. Rebend your left knee, adjust the legs as needed. Peaceful, left palm flips up and back. Travel your hands down to frame your front foot. You'll take it into a plank. And then it's yours, vinyasa. Again, moving like you there. Anything that you're working within your own unique practice. And maybe that means straight back to a downward facing dog, no worries. Once we get back to our home base of down dog, so that's our base, our structure, we're gonna do the same exact thing, adding on a little bit more. Take your right leg, lift it up towards the sky. You'll step your right foot forward. Warrior two, everyone. Back foot seals, opening up through your arms. Peaceful as you breathe in, take it up and back. And then it's a side angle. Now you could take the supported version. If you're feeling curious, maybe the right hand down inside of the front foot. Just working a bit more depth here with the right hand down to the ground. You can start to turn that into your triangle shape, lengthen out through the legs, left arm up towards the sky. From this triangle, it's a warrior two. Peaceful warrior as you breathe in. Now from this peaceful warrior, everyone, lengthen through your front leg, parallel off the toes, reach both your arms up, breathe in. Start to interlace the fingers behind you as you exhale, lift your heart. One more inhale here, front of your mat, devotional warrior. Turn your right toes forward, and it's a bend and bow. Drawing here the energy of the chest to move forward as your right butt bone stares back. And then shifting your hands down. Now turn this into a low lunge. Lift your back heel up. Right leg lifts up towards the sky for 3 legs. From here, begin to bring your knee in towards nose. Hold, hover. Plank pose. And then it's yours. You can flow through a vinyasa. I'll see you back in your dog. I'm sweating. All right, left side. Left leg lifts as you breathe in. Step your left foot forward. Warrior two. Back foot seals. Opening up through the arms. Peaceful as you breathe in. Take your time. And then it's your version of a side angle shape. So again, more than enough to have here the forearm onto your thigh, or perhaps the left hand starts to aim down towards the ground. You could also use a prop here, a book or a block. And then you'll turn that into your triangle pose. So lengthening out through the legs. Again, adjusting the left hand. It might slide up towards the shin. And then it's a warrior two. Rebend your front knee. Peaceful. Breathing in. Lengthen out your left leg. Parallel the feet. Arms rise. Flying warrior. Inhale. Lift your heart. Now front of your mat. Devotion. Left toes will turn out. Adjust your feet. And then it's your bend and bow. Allowing the energy of the chest to drape forward. And you'll start to release your hands down. You'll find your low lunge. 3-legged dog. Left leg rises up towards the sky. Take your time. It's knee into nose. A moment to hold, hover. Plank pose. Then it's yours. A vinyasa. See you back in your downward facing dog. Okay, as you get to your dog here, everyone, moment to pause. Notice the efforts that you made. These shapes don't have to look any particular way. Maybe notice any effects within the breath, the mind, and then using your anchor back into the moment here. Maybe it's the breath, big inhale. Side out through your mouth. All right, last round, adding on a little bit more. Take your right leg, lift it up. You'll step your right foot forward. Warrior two, back foot seals, open up through the arms. Peaceful as you breathe in. Then right into that side angle shape, so you can take the right hand down if you'd like. Maybe it's forearm to thigh. And flowing through it, your triangle pose. Lengthen through the legs, left arm rising. Begin to turn this back into a warrior two. Peaceful, right into flying warrior. Rising up, parallel your feet. Now interlace the hands behind you. Lift your chest, everyone. Look to the back of your mat. Devotional warrior. Bend your left knee, and you'll take a bow. Now from here, start to shift your hands down. It's a low lunge facing the back of your mat. 3-legged dog, left leg towards the sky. Now from this 3-legged position, bring your knee in towards nose, hold, hover. Lift back up to 3 legs, and then start to open up your left hip, bend your left knee, and taking your left knee, start to draw it towards the back of your left arm. It might make a tap there, and step your left foot wide. So foot's outside of your left hand, lengthening out your left leg, everyone. Walk your hands to the right, parallel your feet. You're back in your wide fold. You can take a moment, sway side to side, hang out in stillness. Maybe go upside down with the feet off the ground. That's up to you. Breathe in. Breathe out. From here, right hand down. Left arm lifts up towards the sky. You come back to that slightly wider leg twist. Breathe in. As you breathe out, left hand travels down. Front of the mat, it's a low lunge. Now pause. plank pose, side plank. Right arm up towards the sky. Take your time. Just feeling here the strength of the body. Maybe the bottom knee down for support, that's all good. Whatever version of your side plank you found, start to lift your right leg up, everyone. Look to the right side of your mat, and then see if you can step the right foot wide, bringing your right hand down. Keep looking forward, look to the outside edge of your left hand. You'll step the foot wide, squat pose. Great place for a block underneath you. Again, think here, thighs pressing into the elbows, elbows into the thighs. Lift open through the heart. You'll start to take your left hand now, bring it down to the ground and peel your right arm up, opening up through the chest and the hip. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bring your hands together to press, opposite side. So right hand down, left arm will lift. And from here, maybe you'll start to take your left arm, drape it behind the back, and perhaps with the right arm going in front of your shin, you'll clasp the hands going for the bind. Now, if you have this bind, okay, bring your weight towards your left foot, and slowly, everyone will begin to rise on up, turning it into a Marichyasana. Now, the alternative, and where we'll all meet eventually, is a tree pose. Right foot anywhere above or below your knee joint. You can take any version of your arms. Breathing in, and breathing out. All right. From here, everyone, slowly you'll bring your right knee forward, bring your feet down, chair pose, Utkatasana. From your chair pose, it's a diver's pose. Lift up to the tippy toes. Wing your arms by your side. We'll come back to chair pose one more time. And the diver's pose, again, lifting up. It's up to you from here. Maybe the hands shift down. You can widen out through your knees. Take a crow pose practice. If you're working with crow, bending the elbows, maybe the toes lift off the ground. It's okay if they don't. Alternatively here, you might find a squat again. Take your time, decide what works for you, right? Using these shapes as just one part of the practice to stay centered. And whenever you're ready, downward facing dog will be where we meet. You can float out through a vinyasa. You might just step your way there. Take a big inhale. Feel free to let any noise out the mouth. Last time, left side. Left leg lifts as you breathe in. You'll step your left foot forward. It's a warrior two. Back foot seals, and then opening up through the arms. Peaceful as you breathe in. And then right into your side angle version. Okay, it could be left hand down, could be on your forearm. From here, triangle pose. Lengthen out through the legs and create that expansion through the chest. Warrior two will bring you back up. Peaceful warrior. Right away, lengthen your legs. We reach up, flying warrior, big breath in. Now interlace the fingers behind you, lift your heart. Look to the back of your mat, devotional warrior. Right toes turn, we take a bend and bow. From here, you'll start to shift your hands down. It's a low lunge facing the back of your mat. Three-legged dog, right leg up towards the sky. Then bring your knee in towards nose, hold it, hover. Lift back up to three legs, open up your right hip, bend your right knee, and then it's right knee. To aim towards the back of your right arm, it might make a tap, it doesn't have to, and step the right foot wide. Lengthen out through your right leg, you'll walk your hands to the left, parallel your feet, and you're back in that wide-legged forward fold. Sway side to side, you do you, whatever you need here. And then eventually, with your feet anchored, left hand will stay down and peel your right arm up towards the sky. Big, big twist. Draw your right hand down. Front of the mat is a low lunge. From this low lunge, everyone, plank pose to your side plank. Left arm will lift up towards the ceiling. Take your time. Be with your breath. Again, bottom knee can always come down for support. No worries there. But from this side plank, wherever you're at with the legs, maybe the left leg starts to lift, and then it's a big little leap there. Big little leap, yeah. All right, left hand down inside of your front foot. Look to the outside edge of your right hand. You'll step the right foot wide. You're in your squat. Take a moment to calibrate here, right? Just noticing you might sit up on any props. Continue to lift and lengthen through the spine. And then take your time. Right hand down. Left arm lifts. We open up. Allow the palms to press. Then opposite side, left hand down, right arm lifts. Now you might, from here, bring your right arm behind the back like a half bind. With your left arm, start to trace it in front of your shin. See if you can clasp the hands, and then continue to open up through the hip and the chest. Start to shift here now. This is where it gets a little tricky. Weight to your right foot. Try to keep the bind, and then rise your way on up to stand. Take your time for your standing Marichyasana. Okay? The exit for everyone will all be a tree pose. So if you get there a little early, all good. This is what we'll all meet eventually. Breathing in and breathing out. Eventually bring your left knee forward, feet to the ground, chair pose. Notice your strength, notice the efforts of your body and your breath. Diver's pose again. Come back to Utkatasana, chair pose. And from your diver's pose, once more, lift up to the tippy toes. You can bring your hands down. You've got the choice of one more crow if you're feeling extra spicy here this afternoon. Maybe it's a squat. Maybe it's attempting both of those, yeah? Eventually, it's you if you want to flow it out. I'll see you in a downward facing dog. Once you get to your dog, shift your way forward into a plank pose. Knees down, child's pose. Seat towards your heels. You could take here if you want maybe any props underneath the head. It could be your hands. And just notice, right, as you start to drive the body towards stillness, recalibrating back towards center, notice the efforts you've made. Any sort of anchoring tool to stay present. Maybe you go back to that. Breathe in and breathe out. All right, take your time, everyone. You're gonna come back to a tabletop position, holding it right here, and then downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, you'll lift your hips up and back. From your down dog, changing up a little bit, you'll take your right leg, rise it up, knee to nose, step your right foot forward. Back knee will travel down, reach your arms up this time, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. And as you find this lunge position, so pressing down firmly through the feet, you can imagine the hips drawing forward, an energetic lift through the chest. Start to let your palms press together and bring the thumbs down towards your heart. A big inhale, creating a bit more lift and length through the upper body. As you exhale, twist to your right. Now you're welcome to stay here with the back knee down, if that feels supportive. If you want a challenge into the balance, you might tuck your back toes and then lift the left knee off the ground, allowing a bit of play there with the balance of the legs. Breathe in and breathe out. Now you'll peek down at your front foot. Shift your hands down, everyone, one more time. Three-legged dog. Lift your right leg up. Right knee in towards nose. Hold, hover. Lift back up to three legs. Open up your hip, bend your right knee. And this time, you're going to travel your right knee towards the back of your right arm and pigeon pose. So you'll land your right shin down. Back knee can come to the ground. Feel free to stay as long as you'd like, lifted with the chest. Maybe you find props to bring underneath you. And when you feel ready, the hands could walk forward. Could be forearms. Maybe hands will support here the forehead to land. Maybe they extend out long. And allowing yourself to notice, to breathe. And taking a big inhale in. Big exhale out. Carefully, everyone. You'll walk your hands back, begin to lift your head, lift your chest. And then from here, three-legged dog once more. Lift your right leg up. You can open up the hip. Any movements, if you want to flip your dog, rock start out, if you have the space to do that, feel free to. Otherwise, downward facing dog, and your choice, it might be a vinyasa flow, or simply stay in this dog and breathe. Left leg will lift when you're ready, breathing in. Knee to nose, step your left foot forward. And as we find our way into these shapes, again, take your time to build it from the foundation, back knee down, lift your heart, reach the arms up. Imagine here, with the strength of the feet pressing into the ground, the pelvis moves a little forward, energy of the chest lifts, and maybe noticing the depth of the breath traveling in through the body. Then palms will press together. Draw your thumbs towards your chest, a big inhale, a little lift there, and exhale, twist over towards your left. And then there's an invitation for the back knee to stay down. You could always tuck the back toes, lift your back knee if you'd like. Notice where perhaps even the mind might go to with the choices that we make. So allowing yourself to perhaps stay present. Any sorts of anchors in the room, or maybe your breath will come into focus. Up to you. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, everyone. Now look down at your front foot. You'll start to shift your hands down. Lift your left leg up towards the sky, 3 legs. From here, knee into nose, hold, hover. Lift back up to 3 legs. Open up your hip, bend your left knee. Then as the left knee travels towards the back of your left arm, you'll set up your pigeon pose. So left shin will land, back knee comes down. You can stay lifted with the heart for a bit. Maybe you stay here. Any sorts of props, padding you might need, feel free to find that. In your own time, you can walk your way forward. Maybe you're on your forearms, maybe 2 fists for the head to rest, or arms can reach out long. Maybe noticing any sorts of sensations that come into the body. Again, being with the breath, the heat that you've built. I'm definitely sweating a lot. Breathe in and breathe out. And taking your time. Okay, you can stay there a little longer if you like, no worries. You'll walk your hands back, lift your head, your chest, tuck the back toes, and then 3-legged dog once more. So left leg will lift up towards the sky. You can open up your hip once more. Shake it off. Feel free to flip your dog if you want it. Rock star pose there. Down dog. That's where we'll meet. And the choice is yours. Vinyasa flow. If you want. We'll eventually shift our way forward into a plank position. Knees down once more. Child's pose. And noticing. From this child's pose, everyone, you'll walk your hands back all the time in just a transition point. So you have a seat on your heels, shift over to any side, then you'll make your way down onto your backs. As you lie on down, knees bent, feet onto the ground, no rush to get here. And perhaps an invitation to just orient within this perspective now. So things have sort of shifted around. If your anchor was a point in the room, a color, you might find that. Maybe it's back to the breath. But as we start to transition now into working into back bends, working into heart openers, notice perhaps the feedback that you receive from the body. And we'll start off together in a bridge pose, pressing your feet down, pressing your arms down. You're more than welcome to stay like this. You could always roll the shoulders underneath you, interlace the fingers, similar to that devotional warrior we did. Or perhaps here, maybe a block, a book, really thick book, maybe some pillows or blankets could slide underneath the sacrum for a supported version. And whatever you decide, right, let it be in an effort what you might need right here, right now. If you found your way onto any props, there is always an invitation to stay a little longer on that. We have a couple more rounds, so if you are in an active form, feel free to release as the spine lowers, as the glutes lower. Notice how things feel. And we'll start to move into a round 2. Okay, all the time you need, no rush. It could be once more a bridge pose, pressing your feet down, pressing your arms down as the hips lift. You can breathe like this, maybe a variation of the arms, props underneath you. And if you want, perhaps here, the hands here will drift by the sides of the face, fingertips towards the shoulders, and starting to prep your way on up for your full wheel. And take your time. For those in any active forms, you can choose to stay as long as you like. For those resting on props, you're more than welcome to stay a little longer. And then everyone is your choice from here, so you can choose a final heart opening shape, up to you. Another alternative though, right, and this will be named, is that perhaps that choice for us is to simply rest onto the back body, right? A moment to feel the ground below us. You might widen through the feet, knock the knees into touch, and maybe it's one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and either noticing there the breath or perhaps how the body feels when we start to breathe breath into our body. Eventually this will be the shape that we meet in. So for those in an active back bend or perhaps on any sort of props, you can take those props out and in your own time eventually meet here. If it feels useful, maybe the hands will rest towards the tops of the thighs, and sort of like a gentle massage action, you'll press the thighs, pressing them forward and up to create a bit more length through the lower back. And eventually you can bring your arms by your side, any version of the arm, so it could be a goalpost like I have, maybe it's a big T, and give your legs a windshield wipe left and right. And there's an invitation here as your legs, okay, drift over towards the left. You can keep them there. I'm going to keep my feet more apart for today. And then invitation to take the left ankle on top of the right thigh for a figure four-leg shape to just work a little bit into your right hip flexor. Now, if this is uncomfortable or perhaps causes pain for the knee, feel free to release that variation, and you might even just take the legs stacked together. Find what works for you. And it could be within the suggestions I've given, or maybe even something completely unique that embodies what you might need here in this moment. Breathe in. And breathe out. If you have the ankle on top of the thigh, you'll slowly start to release that. Pass through center, take your twist over to the opposite side. So perhaps whatever variation you've chosen, you'll take that same variation here. But if you were to choose to do something different, that's all good too, yeah? Moment to notice, moment to breathe. Maybe recognizing here in a moment of stillness all the efforts that you've made, anchoring back towards center, and continuing to recognize that change as a way of maybe inspiring our ability to continue to mobilize as we work our way into the rest of the day. If you have the ankle and thigh, you can start to release, start to draw your way back through center, everyone. Knees in towards your chest, take your time. You might make some circles here. And this is perfectly enough, right? Just bringing the knees in, giving yourself a hug, a squeeze. If you want happy baby pose, go for it. But as you draw the knees in, eventually we'll start to wrap the legs in towards us. Draw your forehead towards your knees. Give yourself a big hug, big squeeze. Big breath in. Stay for a breath out. And one more time, big inhale. Maybe squeeze even tighter. And as you exhale, you'll start to take your legs out long. You can drift your arms by your side. Moment to anchor as you find your way into your final rest, Shavasana. Now it's more than appropriate if you want the knees bent, if you want to roll over to a side or draw your way up to a seat. But whatever you do, decide, right? Wherever you feel the most anchored. Allow yourself maybe to be in that moment. take your time here, everyone. If you need a little longer in whatever final resting shape you found, feel free to stay. But if you feel ready to perhaps start the rest of your Wednesday, you can bring movement through your fingers, your toes, knee, ankle rolls, wrist rolls, and then softening through the knees, maybe choosing a side to roll over to. Start to draw your way up to a comfortable seat. And then as you find your seat here, the eyes, they're more than welcome to stay closed or down to a soft gaze. And as we start to round off this practice, if it feels useful, maybe one hand onto the belly, hand onto the chest. Just noticing, right? Noticing how the body breathes. Perhaps noticing the efforts that you've made, and if the intention was to recalibrate, finding center in a way, right? Perhaps we can continue to take that forward as we mobilize for the rest of the day, and perhaps continue our efforts to enact change, and however that change might look for us. Recognizing, again, your efforts for you. A moment to breathe. Go ahead here, everyone. Take a big breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. And 2 more, breathing in. And breathing out. One more, big inhale. And big exhale. You can maybe let the palms press together, sealing our practice here this afternoon. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Loving you, always loving yourself. Namaste. All right, thank you all so much. So my name is Matty. If you have any sorts of questions, feel free to reach out. And this video, this flow will be available for you to use on our YouTube channel. So check it out again, tell your friends, and I will see you all soon. Be safe, take care, continue to advocate for those who need it, and stay strong in the fight. All right, I'll see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.